Well folks, it's finally here, the first big preview for Michelle's season of The Bachelorette, and boy, is it a juicy one. We have new men, new dates, actual travel, a budget that makes Katie's season look like it was filmed by my 8-year-old cousin, conspiracies, and a complete disregard for jacket wear. So let's take a look at this preseason preview and start compiling all the information we can. And while it's still early, the information that we get here is going to set us up for the rest of the season. Let's not forget that there's traveling outside of a bubble this season, including potentially hometowns or further. So this is gonna be fun. And of course, as per usual, please refrain from posting any straight up spoilers in the comment section below, unless it's something that's been sleuthed out in the previews or from official Bachelor accounts. And if you want to watch the preview in full without interruption, I'll leave a link to that in the description.
Premiering in 2 weeks. Tuesday, October 19th. An amazing new season of The Bachelorette.
Okay, can we just pause to take a moment to remember the Be a Katie promos we got last season? I know that was just another bubble season, but man does it feel like they put all the money into Michelle's budget and Katie's got whatever spare change was left over. Now here we see Michelle at the initial filming location for the season, the Renaissance Esmeralda Resort and Spa in Palm Springs. Here's an image from the hotel's website of the lobby that Michelle is currently located in, alongside Michelle in her night one dress. Can I also take a moment to say I am so excited for just the additions of multiple locations in a season? Makes sleuthing much more fun. And there's a whole lot more to talk about, so let's continue on.
I feel super special. Like, how would a girl not feel special?
You've waited long enough. Bring on Michelle Young.
And now we're getting our first real date footage, including a one-on-one with Jamie here, a date we'll see again later on, and a group date at an airfield, which of course means all of these men are making it past night one. It also wouldn't be a season of The Bachelor or Bachelorette without the cast yelling out the lead's name into the ether. Again, this is at the same initial resort that the season will be starting in, as the view the men are yelling at matches with the surrounding area as seen on the resort website. But let's keep going on.
I'm ready to fall in love! I'm a teacher, and class is officially in session.
Miss Young is looking for a husband.
Okay, I guess that's an interesting night one gimmick if you're trying to be memorable, but there's a big difference between making a lasting impression and scarring someone. Now here, we also get a couple of group date shots. Naturally, we have one set in a classroom considering Michelle is a teacher, but we're also seeing a franchise classic, the sports date. Whatever date this is, keep an eye out for this team as they look to be the ones that win the date considering they're popping champagne and there's a trophy right here. So, moving on.
I'm looking for my soulmate, my best friend, someone who's going to change the world with me. This is our journey, Rodney. This is totally our journey.
Well, it didn't take long for the censor bars to come out, that's for sure. Now, apart from Rodney here streaking through the hotel lobby, he also seems to be getting a one-on-one at some point. Fortune favors the bold, I guess. And I suppose Brandon here, at least I think this is Brandon, is also getting a one-on-one. Though I guess it's possible that this could be a part of a group date, but for now, we're gonna assume it's a one-on-one. However, this moment with Illumide is definitely not a one-on-one. Likely, this is from the evening portion of a group date, and probably not a rose ceremony, as men often dress up a little more for one of those. Also, we're gonna see Michelle in the same outfit here talking to another man later on. But if you're wondering what Illumide is holding up here, it's a Bradley University basketball jersey. Michelle played basketball there from 2011 to 2015, so he's making a nod to that with this gift. And for all you sports fans out there, don't worry, we got more references to come, including one right ahead. So let's keep going.
Michelle is this amazing, beautiful, strong black woman. She's so real and so stunning.
Alright, let's head back to this shot right here, where we've moved on from Palm Springs to Minneapolis, Minnesota, and more specifically Target Field, the ballpark that's home to the Minnesota Twins. And it's here where Joe, full name Joe Coleman, will be having a one-on-one with Michelle where he accompanies her as she throws the first pitch of a game. We also get a maybe one-on-one shot with Rodney, a one-on-one with Nate, Michelle and Jamie on the same date that we saw earlier, and a date that looks like a one-on-one with Rick, but it's not. We'll see Michelle in the same outfit with someone else later on, so at best, this is a group date. And this section finishes off with yet another solo date, this time with Martin. And the dates are just going to keep rolling on, so let's continue.
This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for a 1 in a billion girl.
Alright, gonna pause here to point out that we are on yet another date with Joe. And if you notice right here, it says Woodbury, and then right here, home of the Royals. This is Woodbury High, where Michelle went to high school. This is actually all gonna take place on the same date that we saw earlier with Joe, as Michelle's outfit here matches the outfit that she has on under this Minnesota Twins baseball jersey. We also have a date shot with Clayton right here, but we're gonna come back to Clayton a little bit later on. So you know what that means, let's keep going forward.
Oh my gosh, this is crazy.
When I'm with you, you make me feel seen.
I just feel like the luckiest man ever.
Okay, and here we're getting a bit focusing on mostly Martin with a bit of Rick. Maybe this time he's actually on a one-on-one. But certainly this Martin shot looks to be coming from the same date that we saw earlier, as there's a car in the background here, and their other date shot is of them on a racetrack. Oh, and spot the rose that Martin's wearing in this shot. Moving on.
He's got brains, he's got beauty, he's got swag. What more could a girl ask for? That was the hottest kiss of my life. You're so
Alright, and here's that shot of Michelle in the same outfit from the group date with Illumide. We also see another group date that you might find familiar, as it's from one of the first images from the season that was released online. This group date looks to be hosted by someone from the Las Vegas Aces basketball team, as we can see right here, this woman with a shirt that says Aces. We also have two shots of Nate again, one that looks to be from a group date or pre-rose ceremony cocktail party, and another that's from the same one-on-one date we saw with him earlier, as Michelle is in the same swimsuit. Also, this moment where Michelle says that was the hottest kiss of my life isn't from the same time that she's with Nate, as the preview implies, but rather it matches up to this shot earlier with Rick. Though there is one other person we see kissing her in this outfit later on, so we're gonna continue onward.
You give me goosebumps, and I haven't felt goosebumps in years.
When I'm with him, I feel fireworks.
I'm on cloud 20,652.
Okay, the one-on-one date footage keeps coming, and we are seeing a lot of Joe so far. We get a repeat of their baseball date right here, but also a shot of them on a Ferris wheel. Notice that the rose was already handed out. We also see Joe again here, which I suppose could be someone else. If not Joe, maybe Nate? Either way, we're still seeing a lot of Joe already, so I'm adding him to my list of guys to watch out for. Rodney's also seen again right here, though this is a pretty low value shot that could be from anywhere. And then we get another bit with Clayton and then Peter. But note that Michelle here looks to be in her night one dress. So Peter here is probably just trying to make a good impression on the first night by twirling some pizza dough. Makes sense considering Peter runs his own pizzeria, and according to his bio, he's a pizzapreneur. Seems like we learn about a new job title every season.
The more time that I spend with her, the more I realize she could be the one. Oh my goodness, I'm falling in love with this woman.
Heart is literally on fire.
So yet again, we're getting a look at a date we've seen before with Clayton. This one involves a night at the museum's scavenger hunt, as seen on the paper they're holding right here. Now here we have another one-on-one shot with what appears to be Rick, but this date is going to be somewhat early on, at least before things move to Minnesota, as we can see this cable car says Palm Springs, where the first part of the season will be filming. And last in this section is a horseback riding date with Brandon. There's an interesting thing to note with this shot and any other shots on a beach. I'll tell you why once we get to the end. And we have a lot of previews still packed in here, so let's keep it going.
I'm in love with this man. These are like the best guys I've met in my entire life. We found something that was actually really alarming.
And there's Tayshia and Caitlin, hosts for this season, helping us transition into the drama section of the preview. But before we get there, mark more Clayton, Brandon, and Nate footage, with Brandon's being another beach shot. And if you compare the swimsuits that Michelle is wearing, you can see that these appear to be from different dates. Very interesting, as that would imply two different beach one-on-ones. And this is definitely not Minnesota. So my question is, could both of these shots happen in Palm Springs? I mean, I know I'm from Canada, but my brain is starting to question a bit right here. I also don't think this is Portland, where Brandon is from, so that rules out a hometown date. But we'll talk more about all of this at the end. Let's now see what that alarming thing was that Tayshia's talking about and get into the drama.
someone is planning out their every move.
Oh my God.
A lot of the guys are questioning that. You might have known him before here.
Well, now we're getting into some of the fun stuff. One of the dudes is planning their every move on the show, and Michelle allegedly knows someone from before the season began. Now, as for the person that Michelle might have known beforehand, we'll have to wait and see what that's all about. Certainly we know it's not Jamie here, but hey, could be nothing, could be a situation like Peter and Kelly where they randomly met once before the show, could be something bigger. But as for this guy who's planning out their time on the show, note that both here in this shot and right here with the papers, we can see Michelle is in her night one outfit. So all of this is something that's going to play out on the very first night. So whoever this dude is, it's probably not someone from any of the date footage we'll see, as I don't think the dude who made these folders is going to last past night one. Keep a watch out for someone in a blue suit, as this is probably him. Moving on.
He said he doesn't know her, but there's something he's not telling all of us.
Do you think they had a previous relationship? Nate is a player.
You're an actor, and you've come on a reality TV show.
What are you talking about?
Well, it was just a matter of time before the bro-on-bro beef started, and we're getting into that now. But remember, these previews love to fake us out. Like, we don't know that this conversation here is actually between Clayton and Nate. In fact, it kinda looks like nighttime here in the background with Clayton, and more like daytime here with Nate. Now, that doesn't mean that Nate or Brandon here are innocent of all wrongdoing, just that we need to be weary, especially considering that these two seem to be very involved in the season with the amount of date footage we've already seen of them. Not to mention, Nate is already kissing Michelle in her night one dress, so he definitely has a connection with Michelle that doesn't just fizzle out after a few days. All in all, we don't know the context of this drama, and yeah, it's not always good to be the focus of a drama edit no matter what the reality is, but be on your toes, as until we see something definitive, we shouldn't write anyone off. However, we are gonna get something definitive later with the jacket stuff, so let's keep going.
It seems like there's a rat in our midst.
I'm gonna keep exposing you. I'm gonna keep calling you out. I want this guy shut up. You're a clown. You're a clown. You need to keep your mouth shut.
Alright, now this is the kind of edit that is actually valuable to us, because you know that all of this drama is gonna lead to both of these dudes going home at some point. Even if one ends up looking better than the other for a while, this'll be too much. Now this feud is between Peter and Will, and with their different outfits in this shot and this shot, it doesn't seem to be a one night only kind of beef. Oh, and it only gets better ahead.
Not the big dog. The big dog has a jacket.
Just took his jacket?
How you like me now?
It looked dirty, so I figured I'd give a little back.
This man just really pushed my button.
He threw his jacket in the pool. I am already looking forward to the men tell-all. Now, we'll see what the root of this fight actually is during the season, but like I said, Peter and Will both are immediately flagged for elimination at some point. We see this kind of guy drama every season, albeit at varying degrees. Ed and Chasen, Noah and Bennett, Aaron and everyone, no matter what, the end result always leads to the back of an SUV on your way home. So let's continue on.
I just feel unseen.
She feels like she's not appreciated.
I can't keep giving and giving and not getting that.
So here's a new storyline, something about Michelle not feeling appreciated. There's footage from all over the place here, but take note of what Michelle is wearing, because it looks like in this moment, she's talking to someone specifically. For now, we don't know the context, but we'll be taking note and moving on to the next section.
The situation is deeper than what's being told. You can only keep up an act for so long.
If you keep shoving things under the rug, they don't just disappear.
And pausing here to point out that this dress and what Michelle is talking about here matches up with this scene from earlier with Jamie talking about the person that Michelle might have known beforehand. This shot right here looks to be from Michelle's final rose ceremony, as we're going to see later on. You can spot a bit of her dress right here. And then there are some shots that could be fake-outs. Certainly this one with Brandon and Illumide is, as this is just another wrestling group date. In fact, you can see a professional wrestler who will be hosting the date, one of the Bella twins, in the background right here. Another reminder that sometimes you have to take these previews with a grain of salt.
To my future soulmate. Finding love hasn't really been easy for me.
Alright, now we're entering the end game of this preview, but I'm mainly pausing here to point out Michelle in this outfit, which we've talked about before. It's from a group date, and also the shot with Michelle saying, "That was the hottest kiss of my life." Before, we saw her kissing Rick in this dress, but also now Rodney. So she could be talking about either of these guys, or even someone else. We also have a shot with Illumide here that while we don't know for sure what's happening, it does look somber. Maybe him opening up about something, maybe him being sent home.
I was never the girl invited to cute dates at the apple orchard in the fall. I was the girl picked last for prom, but the first for basketball.
Well, that's a heart-wrenching poem. Props to the person who set up the apple orchard date with Rodney and the prom date with Joe, both of whom, again, we're seeing quite a bit of. Although Rodney's date looks to be the same date that we saw with him earlier right here, and Joe's date is a repeat of this one that we saw here. But however, with Joe, that's on top of a lot of other date footage that he's in. Like add that Ferris wheel date, and we're seeing Joe with multiple one-on-ones, a great sign for him.
It was like there was nobody like me. Therefore, there was nobody to see me. I can no longer trust you.
You know, it wouldn't be a Bachelorette preview without the crying shots. Nate here and Brandon here. But I really want to talk about this moment with Michelle saying she can no longer trust someone. Means that person probably has to go, right? Well, we don't know who she's talking to, but we have seen this outfit before, right here with Rodney. Now at this point, I don't have strong enough reason to believe that it's Rodney she's talking about here, but we know that if we see Michelle in this outfit, or Rodney in this one, that someone's likely about to get the boot. We do also get a moment with Michelle and Will kissing, but this looks like it's from that airfield group date, so I'm not putting a lot of stock into this. But alright, we've made it to the end of the preview, let's finish this thing off.
Hey, soulmate, if you're listening, you'll need to understand, in my heart of hearts, all I've ever wanted is love. And I hope you can be that man.
And there you have it, the end of the preview, including Michelle's final rose ceremony. And the main thing that I'm seeing here is a beach. Now we know Michelle goes from Palm Springs to Minnesota, but this doesn't look like Minnesota to me. Not unless there's some beach in Minnesota with crashing waves and rocks like this. Now what I'm getting at is that after Minnesota, at some point, the show must move on to a new beachy location, which I guess is obvious considering the final rose ceremony happens here. So any one-on-one footage on a beach is going to raise my eyebrow. Specifically, these shots with Brandon. Now, before we go making any grand assumptions, we can't quite mark this down as definitive proof of how far Brandon goes, but it really does raise that eyebrow. Especially considering Michelle and him have what appears to be 2 different dates with Michelle in 2 different swimsuits. So immediately, Brandon is someone that I have my eye on. Now we also see a shot of Rodney in the same outfit that we talked about earlier, a shot that has the feel of Michelle sending someone home, and one last look at Clayton crying. I have a sneaking suspicion that this could be him being sent home, I'll tell you why in just a second. But alright, that was a lot of preview to get through. And after all is said and done, the men currently on my watch list, men who we've talked about a lot in this video, are Brandon and Joe primarily, then Rodney and Nate. Doesn't mean others won't become frontrunners or anything, just that, at least until another preview drops, it's those 4 who've caught my attention early as having some sort of impact on the show. Oh, and of course, there's one other, Clayton.
Warning! 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 Warning!
We're going to be talking about something, well, I don't even know how to address this. It's a piece of news that's not unlike when Tayshia was announced as the Bachelorette. You know, when the show hadn't said anything official about her, but a ton of major news publications had reported on it. So if you'd really rather not know this, I'm giving you an opportunity to back out now. Okay? Cool. So, as has been reported by places like Entertainment Tonight, Us Magazine, E-Online, you name it, Clayton is going to be our next Bachelor. It's so out there now that by next preview video, I'll probably be talking about it more openly. But that means 1, we know he's only going so far, and 2, that he'll be getting a golden edit. So I guess that'll be interesting to watch. But if you didn't know, well now you do. He'll be someone else we're keeping our eyes on, but not for the usual reasons. So there you have it, a nice big preview breakdown for Michelle's upcoming season of The Bachelorette. I hope you enjoyed it, I really did, and I'm excited to get into this brand new season. So be sure to give the video a like and subscribe for more content, and until next time, Bachelor Fantake, out.
I just took his jacket?
How you like me now?
You look 30, so I figured I'd give a little back.
This man is really pushing my buttons.